Hey everybody, it's me, V, the Sepia Scholar, and I thought I'd drop in for a quick movie review. Um, totally was getting ready to go out, and I like to play music when I go out. And give myself a little light beat, get my little outfit together, and jam out to some music. And I just so happened to overhear that there was a new Madea coming out, and it was on Netflix. So I decided to jump on my good Netflix, but I spend that good $20 on every month, or at least starting in March, to see what the movie was about. But before I start kick that off, hey, how y'all doing? I hope everybody's happy, healthy, getting everything life has for you, being loved right, all that good stuff. Thank you for joining me on my channel. If you like the content, like, share, comment, subscribe, do all that good stuff. I really appreciate it. Even if you don't like it, hit that thumbs down. Just engage with me because I love engaging with you all. So, with that being said, I saw that there was a new Tyler Perry movie coming out, and I was like, I need to check this out. And I really got caught up with it and ended up being running late to my friend's party. But I was cute though. So, either way, I just have to give you guys a disclaimer. I am a huge Tyler Perry fan, all the way back to those Chitlin Circuit plays he did. I probably seen every play except I think the last one he did, which was Farewell. And I did not see that one, but I'm telling you, I can do that. All the movies have wordplay first, right? But one of my favorites was Medea's family reunion, which is what this whole movie looks like to me. The whole set, almost the same storyline, all that crazy stuff. Lends back to Madea, a family reunion. Of course, Madea goes to jail. Both the movie and the play was done in the dark. There's so many Perry plays that you could just sit there and watch all day. Believe it or not, I really enjoyed Meet the Browns, the play, because like most plays and Medea's Big Happy Family, the plays usually have amazing singers in it, which they replace when they do the Hollywood version of it with more big time actors. But they'll have a big music scene, but it's not the same singing that you get in a play. So I'm a big fan of Tyler Perry, big fan of Madea. I could have sworn the man said Madea was gonna be dead and she was gonna be in the ground. And after was it a Medea's funeral? That movie was damn terrible. I thought Madea was done, but they brought back this movie, and this is not going to be a recap like I usually do. This is really going to be a review. Yeah, I'm gonna talk about the plot a little bit, but it's gonna be all over the damn place, just like this movie poster you see on the screen. It's all over the damn place. That's what I'm going to do as well. So come along for the ride with me. So basically, in this movie, Madea and the family are getting ready for her great grandson Tim's graduation. And the first thing I noticed in the movie was, I think I'm 2 minutes in, I can cuss now. Madea dropped a nice little motherfucker for us. And I was like, what? Oh, okay. Because if you know, Tyler Perry started off doing church plays. So I guess from what they said, this movie is an R. So there was a nice little motherfucker dropped in there. Just boom, there it goes. I was like, oh, okay. And then it got worse. But either way, first thing we see is Mr. Brown trying to light up a barbecue, and he's pouring the most gas I've ever seen, or lighter fluid, whatever I've ever seen somebody pour on the barbecue. But what I give them is they made it super realistic in a way, because usually when they show barbecues blowing up in movies, it's real lightweight. And Uncle Joe comes in and is like, "Do you have room for a roasted ninja?" I'm gonna say ninja. I ain't gonna say the other word, but the N word. And I was like, "Oh, we cousin. Okay, Uncle Joe, I see you." And I was like, "This is not a church family movie anymore." But either way, he sets himself on fire and he's running around. This looked like real fire, so obviously they spent a little bit of money on the effects, at least on Mr. Brown being on fire. But explain to me how he was on fire for damn near 3 minutes and only his clothes got burned and he was literally assed out where you can see his little lacy panties and stuff. So hold on, they bugging me. Let me mute this. It was supposed to be like he got all burnt up, but his skin was all right. You can see his butt in the back as he helped set up, and everybody wasn't feeling that. But it was like, okay, I guess. But what I thought was funny as hell was Madea was more worried about him burning her tree, and she tried to spray him with a little bit of water, then put out her hose and realized the water was off. And yes, I'm saying all these memories off the top of my head because I didn't really take any true notes for this. I just sat there and enjoyed it while I got dressed. So the other part that they brought in was like the family members start showing up, and when the mom showed up, Lord, I don't remember what the hell her name was. She showed up with her cute friend. Everybody was sweating her, and heck, she was bad. You know how Tyler Perry like to have big muscle bound dudes and real bad baddies, Instagram baddies as the characters in the movies, not to play. She showed up. And I love how Madea was like, you only stand one day. I was like, yes, Lord. I don't want nobody staying at my house all alone. I want to be able to walk around naked if I want to, mind my business, eating a sandwich. I don't want to have to deal with anybody staying too many days overstaying their damn welcome. So I thought that was funny as heck. And then you see the great grandson, which is funny. I remember his name. Tim shows up with his roommate. Question mark, question mark, question mark. I put in my notes. Davi. I ain't gonna lie. I thought they were rainbow people most of the movie. I thought they would be LGBTQ the whole movie. I don't know. We're gonna see. We're gonna see because we're gonna ride this out. So the other character they introduced in here, I told you I'm gonna be all around. The other characters they introduced in here was Mrs. Brown, which is a Davi's auntie who popped up from Ireland, and turns out that character, the Irish comic actor Brendan O'Carroll, who plays Agnes Brown in an Irish sitcom called Mrs. Brown Boy. So apparently there is an Irish version of Madea, and this guy was it. And it was a cute little look. It was cute. It was all right. I'm gonna speak on it a little bit more. But when she comes in and everybody's talking and they're fussing, and she's like, everyone has their knickers in a bunch, and everybody thinks she's saying a bunch of N words, which prompts Uncle Brown to go say he's gonna put on everything black, which amounts to him putting on a Black Panther-esque outfit with a Black Lives Matter T-shirt. And I've been the same way. I've been like, Wakanda forever, Wakanda forever. Ho, I'm about to go be black for you for real. They even threw a Proud Boy joke in there. She was like, "Oh, I'm so proud of my boy." And hell no, you know about the Proud Boys in here. But I was like, as usual, Tyler Perry took the jokes way too long, and Uncle Joe runs the jokes into the ground. Because I feel like they're trying to make him as big a character as Madea, and it just ain't gonna work. It's just not the same. It's just like how Eddie Murphy had the Nutty Professor, and he had all these side characters, but of course, everybody was focused on the main characters. That's like us focusing on the damn big uncle that's at the end of the table. What the hell? And then what I noticed too is that Madea and Ms. Brown were supposed to be a thing. So you have Madea and then you have the Irish Madea, but the scenes were like super long, dragged out, getting old, especially when they were doing the scenes about green, aka you know what I'm talking about, that smoke and the race jokes. They dragged it on. It was like jumbled and jumbled. I really like Mrs. Brown, but the jokes they kept repeating about them not understanding each other and her, I mean, I guess on her regular show they say all she talks about is her with JJ and flirting with dudes and all this other crazy stuff. So I guess it went along with her brand. It was like, okay, we got two Medeas in the same movie. So like I said, she's Davy's aunt, and I still can't figure out who the other blonde lady was, but they showed up to be a part of the whole festivities. And honestly, y'all, they could have took them entirely out the movie, and the movie would have just flowed because there were that many storylines. So speaking of storylines, they tried to put a bunch of storylines all in one day, pretty much 2 hours. And what threw me off was they had even the timing was off. They had the graduation party before the graduation. I'm like, I done graduated a few times. They usually have the graduation first, and then everybody go back to the house and celebrate you. So that completely threw me off. It was like it's like maybe They only had they only had the scenes or the sets for a certain amount of days, and that's all they could do. So I was like, and you know how Tyler Perry like to do. You know how he like to do. It's a mess. So that was all over the damn place. The other thing was how they laid out either way they laid out a big gay reveal because Tim kept creeping around. You know how Tyler Perry movies are. There's always some big secret, and turns out that basically Tim was gay. And what was funny as hell to me was Joe was making jokes about the dude being gay the entire time, and Bam was offering to smash, talking about, her sucking and blowing skills. It was like, y'all are off the chain, and it's obvious that these dudes are gay. Then we have the deadbeat dad who shows up, and as usual, Madea pulls out her piece and starts shooting, and it's all the regular tropes of a Tyler Perry film. It turns out the other reveal they did was it turns out that the mom, Gabrielle Dennis's best friend, who's the stereotypical baddie, like I said, and her divorce lawyer, was actually sleeping with her dad/husband. Talk about conflict of interest. And I think she ends up threatening to go and turn her in when she does find out that they're sleeping together. But everybody was super like calm about this whole situation, including the mom, because turns out she was sleeping with Davi. Plot twist: Davi's not gay. He's smashing the mom. It was a mess. So this movie is all over the place. I'm trying to get through it. So once they figure out that the dad is sleeping with the best friend, and Tim's quote unquote boyfriend, Davi, was fronting. I skipped a part. The whole time, Davi and the dad were like at odds. He keeps fronting the dad the entire time, or randomly roasting him. He was more mad at the son that the dad abandoned him. It was so crazy. And even Madea was like, what the hell is going on here? Because they had never met. And I'm like, shit, what the hell is going on in this movie? It's all over the damn place. Then they go to our good old Uncle Joe. I'm going to jump around on him too. You know, Uncle Joe loved to actually holler at his kinfolk. He tried everybody. And he was sitting there trying Sylvie, who was the mom's best friend. And yeah, she was bad. And they made sure you knew it with all those camera angles. But they didn't give a damn that they was a kinfolk. They were trying to smash. Including Aunt Bam, who was trying to be in a threesome with the great-grandson and Davi. And as I told you, she was showcasing her sucking and blowing skills. And I'm like, get me the hell out of here. But I did laugh when Uncle Joe said that cousins don't count when you're around kinfolk. They're all free game. I mean, past the cousin, it doesn't count. So let's talk about Tyler Perry. Like I said, this movie was all over the damn place. I think Tyler Perry is a good businessman because he gets movies out fast, but his filmmaking is kind of suspect. Like, I was looking at the transitions. Like, when they were walking, the great-grandson and Davi had their whole come to Jesus moment, and Madea was out there, the basketball bounced, and then it bounced again, and then it changed the scene with basketballs, and I'm like, what in the kid show is happening here? Then there was a transition when they went from the Red Lobster to the kitchen, and that threw me completely off because they zoomed up the dad to the table. It looked like he was about to jump on white people at the table, and then it turned into the kitchen, and it was really, really freaking jarring and crazy. As you see, I don't do no editing on my channel because if I do some editing, I want to do it correctly. So go along for the ride with me. But another thing I liked about the movie was stripping jokes. They had a lot of stripping jokes, and we always know, even in the plays, that Madea always says she stripped back in the day, and it was tough because they had to strip on telephone poles, and they didn't even shellac them, so they were sliding down them damn splinters and shit. So she earned her money. And I love the Red Lobster hoe jokes. I love that they sang Cardi so that they could sang out Cardi so they could identify all the hoes in the Red Lobster. And I'm thinking about life. I'm thinking in my lifetime, I've seen plenty of hoes, cheddar biscuits, and black folk at the Red Lobster. So I totally related. And that leads me to the crazy product placement. placement. They zoomed in so close on that damn food that my mouth started watering. Like it was either they had a brand deal or they just threw Red Lobster in there because they know black people love Red Lobster and they was catering to us. I don't know. But what I was happy about that was that they were actually eating real food, unlike A Fall from Grace, which I should do a review on that, and I will be more detailed than this one, where they were sitting there eating and drinking air like the freaking extras. It was so obvious that they spent no money on that dang on movie. Another thing I like is the dialogue. I always like the dialogues of Tyler Perry films because it's so true to life for Black people and realistic. How we basically handle conflict. Um, we have sayings like, I mean, if you like it, I love it, or it couldn't be me, or all those type of things, colloquialisms that we have as Black people, and he captures it perfectly. And I hate movies that have really, really unrealistic dialogue. And some examples of that was when how Uncle Joe confronts the daughter that's a cop, and he's going off because he's saying that her cop car is scaring all the people in the neighborhood and making them turn around as soon as they see a cop car, everybody busts the UE, and that she's scaring away his weed man. And but on the flip side, Medea is really, really upset at the idea of protesters who burn down her corner liquor store, right? And possibly her granddaughter, because she's a cop. So they threw in some little, woke moments in there. Y'all know how I feel about the damn woke moment. But this one was done pretty well. I also love how crazy they talk to the deadbeat dad. And I know you all know that one relative that nobody liked. Is usually a damn ex-husband or ex-wife who done tried, one of the family members. They gotta show up for the kids and how they have to talk. They talk to them crazy and make them feel. There's some people who make them feel welcome, but just stay quiet. They're like, why he here? And then there's one be like Medea here. What the hell are you doing here? What you got going on? And I also love how they clown Dobby, who's actually turning out to smash the mom, who, I mean, she's gorgeous. And during his proposal, when she tells him no, um, basically they're clowning him instead of trying to console him. And also, like I said, when Tim came out, nobody gave a damn. They was like, we knew you was that way since you was little. So it took all the wind out of his sails. So they really did a good job with the dialogue. Now there were some things where the math wasn't mathing. Tim's mom must have been 15 when she had him because they looked the same age, and I actually looked it up, and they're only 10 years apart. So I was correct when I thought the math wasn't mathing. And the other thing that always confuses me about Medea's movies is how they introduce the new characters who are relatives, and that's the reason she cares about them. But you never can figure out how everybody is related, so it just turns into a hodgepodge. Um, I'm always like intrigued with Tyler Perry and how he is a comedic genius, even though the jokes go too damn long. One that went too long but was funny as hell was Rosa Parks. How Rosa Parks was a side chick for Madea and she was confronting Rosa Parks and Madea busting there all. They done came up on the budget for Madea. I mean, I know the wigs on all these other movies be a hot mess, but Medea's wig was laid. The dress was cutting that body. That thing was thanging. She was extra thick. And what made it extra funny was how uh, he's sitting there, or Medea's sitting there telling his granddaughters about the Rosa Parks scheme, and they're like going along and they don't believe him. And he's actually talking about how he recorded on an iPhone, and it actually turned out to really be recorded on an iPhone. But that part was hilarious. But let me talk about the actual plot a little bit. Spoil it all for y'all, but you're here, you probably watched it already. Davi proposes to the mom. She says no at first. She says no because Mrs. Brown, Davi's auntie, said he's supposed to go back and run his farm because it's family tradition. And that gives Madea a chance to do what she does best, give speeches about love and life and how to get through it. So it's always good family fun when she's, giving you some good wisdom or whatever. So that's pretty much how the movie ended. Oh, other than I'm speaking of her when freaking Tim blasted his mama during a valedictorian speech and put her thought moves on blast, but ended up saying he loved her and Dobby anyway. No, that was a crazy part for me. I could be missing all types of crazy part shit. Brown being on the roof, thinking being high, about to jump off. I mean, literally, there were so many storylines going in this movie, and you could not keep up. So we're gonna go to the end where Madea is high and imagining. And that's when they threw in the whole Beyonce HBCU Coachella scene. It was long as hell and not needed, and it made the title. I honestly believe that Tyler Perry was just using this to live out his Beyonce fantasies, uh, uh, booty shorts, fuzzy boots, yellow sweater, and HBCU band and all. And they did a full documentary that didn't have shit to do with the rest of the movie. And that was the end. I thought this movie was very Madea. It was all over the place, but it gave what it was supposed to give. You had some funny moments. You had some sneaky side stories. I definitely laughed throughout. This is a movie, so I gotta give my rating system. My rating system consists of Smarties, if you know the candy, since I'm the Sepia scholar and we're all Smarties. You can get up to 5 Smarties for a movie, and I give this a 2.5. Only because I am really into movies and cinematography and plot lines and everything. And he did what he does. But in this case, I think it was kind of all over the place. But I definitely laughed. The black people look good. I love when they put the nice little colors and everything. The wigs was doing what they were supposed to do. So Tyler Perry, I'll give you that. You get 2.5 Smarties. And with that being said, love who loves you. Be blessed. Sepia Scholar out.